Whether you're new to the series in WWE 2K25 or just looking for a refresher, this tutorial will guide you through everything you need to know to impress the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. To begin, let's go over the basics. You can move around using the left analog stick, with the speed of the movement depending on the pressure used. To run, hold the left trigger and move the left analog stick in the direction you want to go. To enter or exit the ring, move the left analog stick towards the ropes and hold the right bumper. When moving near to an opponent, a light strike can be performed using the light attack button, with alternate strikes also available when holding the left analog stick towards or away from your opponent. Heavy strikes can also be performed in the same manner by pressing the heavy attack button. Grapples are performed using the grab button, which will see players lock up in a collar and elbow tie-up. From this position, players can use the light or heavy attack buttons to perform grapple moves, with alternate moves available when moving the left analog stick up, down, left or right. With your opponent grounded on the mat, players can perform a range of strike attacks using the light or heavy attack buttons. To perform a grapple, press the grab button, then press either the light or heavy attack button to perform a move. Different moves are available depending on the location of the grapple, with players able to grapple opponents at the head, the side, or the legs. From a grounded position, you can also turn an opponent over to perform a different set of moves by moving the right analog stick to the left or right. To pick up a grounded opponent, you can do this by moving the right analog stick up. If you're playing using the new third-person camera, to pick up an opponent, you'll need to hold down the right trigger, then move the right analog stick up. Submission moves can also be attempted from a grounded position by approaching either the head, side or legs, then holding the right trigger and pressing the grab button. New this year, players can also perform a grounded corner move by walking over to the corner position and then holding down both triggers and pressing the heavy attack button. To perform an Irish whip, press the grab button to grapple your opponent, then press the grab button a second time to whip them into the ropes. You can also double tap the grab button before the initial lockup to speed up the animation. Players can also perform a strong Irish whip to send an opponent over the top rope and to the outside. To perform a strong Irish whip, press the grab button, then press and hold the grab button again. When performing an Irish whip, players can also execute a pullback attack, which sees you pull your opponent back towards you and execute a move. Pullback moves can be performed by using an Irish whip, then pressing the strike or grapple button before whipping your opponent. Now that we know how to whip an opponent into the ropes, let's move on to rebound attacks. These can be performed by pressing the light, heavy or grab button as your opponent rebounds towards you. As your opponent rebounds, pressing the light or heavy attack button will perform a strike, while pressing the grab button will attempt a grapple move. To perform a running strike, hold down the left trigger and move the left analog stick in the direction of your opponent, then press the light or heavy attack button to perform a strike. To perform a running grapple, hold down the left trigger and move the left analog stick in the direction of your opponent, then press the grab button. Next, let's try some high flying moves. To climb the turnbuckle, hold the left trigger to run, then direct the player towards the corner to automatically climb to the top rope. This can be achieved both in the ring and outside of it, as well as from the apron. In order to perform a diving attack, players can press the light or heavy attack button to perform a variety of moves. To perform a carry move, press the grab button to grapple your opponent, then press the right bumper to lift them into the carry position. In this position, players can freely move around while carrying their opponent. While carrying an opponent, players can switch to a different carry position by moving the right analog stick up, down, left or right. To perform a move, press the heavy attack button. From the carry position, players can also press the light attack button to perform an environmental attack. To escape the carry position, rapidly press the grab button to fill out the circle. To drag an opponent, press the grab button to perform a grapple, then press the left bumper to transition into a drag. Drags can be performed from both a standing position and when your opponent is on the ground. To exit onto the apron, move the analog stick towards the ropes and tap the right bumper to climb onto the apron. From this position, players have multiple options available depending on the position of your opponent. If your opponent is in the ring, the light and heavy attack buttons can be pressed to perform strikes and heavy attacks, whilst the grab button can be used to perform a grapple. If you're playing as a high flyer, such as Rey Mysterio, you can perform a springboard attack by holding the left bumper and pressing the light attack button. If your opponent is on the apron and you're in the ring, you can press the light attack button to perform a basic strike or the heavy attack button to perform a strong attack. You can also perform a grapple move by pressing the grab button to grab your opponent, then pressing either the heavy attack or the grab button. For high flyers, you can also attempt a springboard attack to the outside. To do this, hold the left analog stick towards the ropes and press the left bumper to grab hold of them. While holding the ropes, press the light attack button to perform a springboard. Running springboards and dive attacks can also be performed to the outside. To perform a running dive to the outside, whilst running towards the ropes, move the left analog stick towards your opponent, then press the light attack button. Springboard moves can also be performed from the apron to the outside by holding the left bumper and pressing the light attack button. To perform a signature move, you'll first have to fill out your special meter, which you can do by performing moves and strikes. Once your bar is full and your opponent is in position, hold the right trigger down and press the light attack button to perform your signature. If you're unsure of the position that you need to be in to perform your signature move, you can check this by pausing the game and selecting moves. To perform a finishing move, first make sure that you have a finishing move stored, then with your opponent in position, hold down the right trigger and press the heavy attack button. Certain superstars, such as Roman Reigns, don't have a standing finisher, and instead they use a running finisher, so you'll have to pause the game and check the moves menu to find out which position you need to be in to perform their finisher. For superstars with standing or running finishing moves, these can also be performed using a charged finisher. To perform a charged finisher, hold down the right trigger and press the heavy attack button while your opponent is on the mat. In addition to regular finishers, certain superstars also have the ability to perform a super finisher, which is a more powerful move that deals 3 times as much damage, though in order to perform one, you'll need to use 3 stored finishers. To check if the superstar that you're playing as has a super finisher available, you can pause the game and check out the move screen. In this example, Roman Reigns has the Superman Punch Spear combo assigned as a super finisher, so let's go back to gameplay and try this out. First, we need to make sure that we have 3 stored finishers, which are indicated by the 3 yellow segments. Once you have 3 finishers stored, you'll notice that your finisher meter will become electrified, indicating you can now use your super finisher. Super finishers use the same button combination as regular finishers, which is the right trigger and the heavy attack button, though you only need to tap the buttons to use it. With your opponent on the mat, you can attempt a pinfall by moving the right thumbstick down. If you're playing using the new third-person camera, you'll need to hold down the right trigger and then move the right thumbstick down. If you'd like to cancel the pin attempt, this can be done by pressing the left bumper. To kick out of a pinfall, there's 2 methods available depending on the pin minigame that you've chosen, as WWE 2K25 comes with the option of using a timed minigame or a rapid minigame, both of which can be selected via the options menu under gameplay settings. When using the timed pin minigame, to kick out of a pinfall, move the right thumbstick up or press the heavy attack button when the cursor is within the green area. Depending on the amount of damage that you've sustained, the speed of the cursor and the target area will vary, with the speed increasing as more damage is received. When using the rapid pin minigame, to kick out, you'll need to rapidly press the heavy strike button to fill out the circle before the referee counts to 3. For younger players, or anyone looking for accessibility solutions, you can also enable the Allow Held Input for Minigames option within the gameplay settings, as this will allow players to hold the heavy attack button to fill out the circle and kick out. To perform a submission move, hold the right trigger and press the grab button. When attempting a submission move, the following indicator will appear on screen. This submission bar works in the same manner as a tug of war, in which players will have to repeatedly press the button shown to fill out the submission bar. During a submission, the player who performed the move can press the left bumper to cancel the submission attempt. For players that enabled the allow held input option, this also works for submissions, allowing you to hold the button shown rather than rapidly press it. In addition to the rapid submission game, 2K25 includes the ability to switch to an alternate slider minigame. The slider minigame works like a game of cat and mouse, with the attacking player having to rotate the cursor using the trigger buttons and try and catch and overlap their opponent's cursor, then hold it there to fill out the submission meter. To escape the slider minigame, defenders will have to rotate their cursor away from the attacker to empty the meter. New to 2K25 is the return of the chain wrestling feature, which sees players lock up at the beginning of a match. Chain wrestling occurs when both players attempt to grapple at the beginning of the match, though it can also be initiated manually by holding the grab button. During the initial lockup, you'll need to choose a position based on the buttons on screen, with options to switch position, drive your opponent back, or attack them. After selecting an action, the next step is to gain control, which you can do by moving the left thumbstick around until you find the sweet spot and the blue icon turns red. At that point, you'll need to hold the stick in position to fill out the circle. The first person to fill out the circle will gain control of the hold and execute their chosen action, which in this scenario is switch, which switches the hold into another position and gives the players the ability to select a new action. This system will then repeat until the chain is ended, with additional options becoming available depending on the hold. Combo moves are a series of strike attacks that, when completed, will result in a specific move being performed. Combos are performed using a combination of the light, heavy, and grab buttons, with a full list of player combos available in the pause menu. Using Roman Reigns, to give an example of a specific combo, Roman can perform a jackhammer by pressing light, heavy, heavy grab while moving the analog stick towards your opponent. To perform this in-game, move the analog stick towards your opponent and press the buttons in sequence light, heavy, heavy, grab. Every superstar has a different set of combos available, so if you want to check how to perform a certain move, using the combo option within the pause menu is essential. Reversals can be performed by using the reversal button, which is Y on Xbox and triangle on PlayStation. To successfully perform a reversal, players will want to press the reversal button whenever the reversal indicator pops up on screen. This can occur whenever a grapple or strike attack is initiated, with some moves also featuring a mid-move reversal, which will see the reversal button appear during the move. To perform a dodge, this can be performed by moving the analog stick in the direction away from your opponent and pressing the reversal button. Performing a dodge can prove to be a very useful move, as this will give you a small window to launch a counter-attack. The style of the dodge performed depends on the superstar's class, as while Roman Reigns may duck a punch or pull away, other classes, such as the cruiserweights, will perform a roll. Breakers are another chance to counter your opponent after entering into a grapple state. To perform a breaker, when your opponent performs a grapple, the aim is to try and guess if they'll press the light, heavy, or grab button. If you guess correctly and press the same button that they do, then this will see you break up the move and escape the grapple. A breaker can also be performed when defending a strike combo, as guessing the next button to be pressed will break the combo. Using the D-pad, players can perform various taunt actions towards the crowd or their opponent. To perform a crowd taunt, press left on the D-pad. This will see the player turn towards the crowd and perform a crowd taunt. To taunt in the direction of your opponent, this can be done by pressing right on the D-pad. Taunts can be performed in a variety of situations, such as the corner or the top rope. If your opponent is on the mat, pressing up on the D-pad will see you perform a special wake-up taunt, which will cause your opponent to stagger back to their feet. So that's all of the basics covered, which should give you a good understanding of how things work and how to get started. However, if there's anything not covered in this tutorial that you're having problems with, let me know in the comments and I'll try to help you out. But in the meantime, stay tuned to the channel for more tutorials on WWE 2K25. Until next time, thank you so much for watching this video, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.